The time has come for the Prime Minister to step down.
And at some point, we have to conclude that enough is enough.
I think he's appalling.
It's clear that whether it's tomorrow or next Tuesday, there's going to be a new Prime Minister.
The British Constitution is now in tatters tonight.
Clinging to power against all odds.
The job of a Prime Minister in difficult circumstances when he's been handed a colossal mandate is to keep going, and that's what I'm going to do.
Boris Johnson's house of cards on the brink of collapse.
We're just hearing that Sajid Javid has resigned.
I'm terribly sorry, we have to stop there. Rishi Sunak has resigned.
You're not resigning as Vice Chair.
Well, no, look, I think you have to resign.
The list of resignations is astounding. More than 50 in total, including senior cabinet ministers.
Mr. Speaker, isn't this the first recorded case of the sinking ships fleeing the rats?
After sticking with the Prime Minister through Partygate and a vote of no confidence last month, they now say he's not fit to govern. The latest scandal involving his handling of sexual misconduct claims against a senior MP, a bridge too far.
He knew the accused minister had previously committed predatory behaviour, but he promoted him to a position of power anyway. Why?
Boris Johnson first insisting he didn't know about the groping allegations before backtracking days later.
Yes, I think it was a mistake.
But when it comes to the leadership, he's not backing down.
Will you be Prime Minister tomorrow?
Of course.
Johnson even going as far as to sack one of the few ministers he has left after they asked him to resign.
I'm not going to step down, and the last thing this country needs, frankly, is election.
Other ministers less upfront with their intentions. Just days into the job, the new Chancellor Nadhim Zahawi is reportedly plotting his own takeover bid.
Prime Minister, how's your week going?
Terrific.
So, with the walls closing in on the British PM and barely anyone left to govern alongside him, how long can Boris Johnson hold on?
Bye, Boris.
Our UK correspondent Lucy McDonald joins us. Lucy, wow, things are unravelling fast. We're hearing reports that Boris is going to go. What are you hearing?
Yeah, absolutely. Within the last 15 minutes, we're hearing a complete change, really, that he's preparing a resignation statement. So we expect to see him outside Number 10 with a podium delivering some kind of exit speech in the next few hours. The message has finally got through. His time is up. I feel that his authority really drained away last night. He was planning to stay, but there's been so many interventions this morning that I think he realised it was no longer possible to do so. We've had so many ministerial resignations this morning, including ministers appointed in the last 48 hours. We've got 24 vacancies in the cabinet. The country's not functioning. So we don't know the mechanics of what will happen next, but we do know that Boris Johnson is expected to resign today.
So it looks like you might not have a Prime Minister tomorrow. You've barely got enough MPs. What does that mean? What happens?
Yeah, I mean, it's scary. We have Ben Wallace, the Defence Secretary, saying this morning something like a number of us have an obligation to keep the country safe no matter who is Prime Minister. I mean, 24 vacancies at the heart of government. The government is not running properly. So this is, I think, why Johnson realised he has to go. So if he walks now, there's two ways he can do it. He can walk now or he can hang on until there's a leadership contest and someone new is installed as leader of the Conservative Party. Incidentally, Labour, the opposition party, are calling for a snap election. The Deputy Prime Minister, Dominic Raab, could take over as an interim Prime Minister, but we just don't know. I mean, it's been chaos. The chaos is not going to end anytime soon.
You've caught the Australian disease of leadership spills quite clearly. It's clear that Boris can see that there's not really a future for him, but what about the millions of Britons that voted for him not that long ago? Where do they stand on this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was 13.9 million. And I think that was very much his reason to stay, you know, despite losing all these ministers. Actually, I have the mandate of the people. I live in London. It's a bit of a bubble. It's a bit of an anti-Johnson bubble. Outside of London, I think he has more support, you know, despite the lying, the boozy parties, the corruption, installing a sexual predator at the heart of his government. Some people still see him as a lovable rogue, although that number is definitely dwindling.
Lucy, who do you think's in line for the next job? Who's going to get it?
Well, astonishingly, last night, a serving minister, someone who hasn't resigned, Suella Braverman, put her hat into the ring. But otherwise, there's loads of the normal suspects, Sajid Javid, Liz Truss, oh goodness, my mind's gone blank. Loads of people. Basically, anyone who's anyone is putting their hat into the ring, and it's going to be a complete bun fight and completely vicious. But who would really want to take it on, actually? It's a bit of a poison chalice. The country is in disarray. We've got very high inflation, obviously the war in Ukraine. So it's a lot to take on. And to rebuild the Conservative Party, which is really, I don't think has ever faced such an internal crisis.
Throw your hat in the ring, Luce. We believe in you.
Yeah, OK, I will do. If I've got your backing, I'm in.
We'll vote for you. Thank you so much for joining us, Lucy.
Thank you.